Today, Ghana pauses to honor the first and legacy of Asajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the nation's first president and a visionary leader who led the country to independence in 1957. Here's a report put together for you.
Born on September 21, 1909 at Nkrofo in the Western region, Nkrumah rose from humble beginnings to become the face of Ghana's struggle for freedom and the symbol of African liberation. His rallying cry of forward ever, backwards never continues to echo across generations.
Colonialism and imperialism may come to us yet in a different guise, not necessarily from Europe. We must alert ourselves to be able to recognize this.
Dr. Nkrumah's bold leadership gave birth to Africa's first independent nation south of the Sahara, and his dream for a united continent inspired movements for freedom across Africa and beyond. Across the country today, Ghanaians are reflecting on his enduring legacy, from his investments in education, infrastructure, and industrialization to his unyielding belief in the power of the African identity.
Ghana is a small but very dynamic, independent African state. We are trying to reconstruct our economy and to build a new, free and equal society. To do this, we must attain control of our own economic and political destinies.
As the nation marks Nkrumah's Memorial Day, his words remain ever relevant, that the independence of Ghana is meaningless unless it is linked with the total liberation of Africa.
Today, from now on, there is a new African in the world. That new African is ready to fight his own battle and show that, after all, the black man is capable of managing his own affairs.
Today, we celebrate not just the man, but the vision, a vision that continues to shape our journey as a people and as a continent. A happy Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Day.
Our independence is meaningless unless it is linked up with one liberation of the African continent.
Still on the 116th birthday of Ghana's first president, Asajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, and in his birthplace in Nkrofo in the Western region, the celebrations are in full swing. This year's journey to Nkrumah First, now in its third edition, has drawn people from far and near to honor the man whose vision shaped Ghana's independence. JoyNews' Talia Kwanzaa has been with the people of Nzima land and brings us this report.
Nkrofo, the birthplace of Ghana's first president, Asajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. The journey to Nkrumah First this year is celebrated in a special way. This year marks the 116th birthday of Ghana's first president. For the very first time, anyone entering Nkrofo is greeted by a newly erected statue of Asajifo, a powerful reminder that this is the home of Ghana's first president. The energy here is electric. It feels less like a festival and more like a giant family reunion with food, music, dancing, and above all, reflection on the legacy of the man who led Ghana to freedom. At the center of it all is the Lembele MP and Lands Minister Emmanuel Amakofibua, who for more than a decade has been the chief architect of this annual festival.
Today on what has been, will have been the 116th birthday of Asajifo, who celebrate his enduring, undeniable impact in the world, in Africa, in Ghana. And this is why we chose the theme celebrating Nkrumah's enduring impact. And so we must ask, what is it about this man, born right here in Nkrofo, that causes the world to still pause and take notice over a century that he's physically gone? Why does his name still command such reverence and for some, such fear?
This year's festival carried even more weight. A delegation from the north, sent by the Yabonra of Gonja, joined the celebration, a gesture of gratitude for Nkrumah's many initiatives for the north during his time in office. Beyond the speeches and pageantry, the festival is tied directly to the community. The MP commissioned a renovated Osajifo Nkrumah Museum, stressing that celebrating the past must also mean investing in the future.
You can never talk about any cultural heritage without any symbol. The cloth is one. We have so many identifications to mean that indeed today is a special occasion. And we intend to use this as a symbolic cloth.
For Nkrumah's family, the day is deeply personal.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you for bringing the Nkrumah family here. God willing, next year we will be more in number. 21st of September, rather, as Founders Day. And I know Osajifo's birthday. And I know that the time will come when the whole of Ghana is going to unite behind Kwame Nkrumah's vision for us.
Your beloved country is free forever.
Yes, indeed. We are free to uphold his vision.
And then there is the food. Nzima dishes took the spotlight at the bazaar, from cassava staples like acheke to rice in coconut oil and the legendary abodaso, one of Nkrumah's favorite meal. Originally nicknamed Nkrumah by locals, the dish was later renamed abodaso out of respect when he became the president.
And we have our sweet dishes like ebumije, that is from cassava starch. Then when there's fresh fish, there's fresh corn or maize. We boil it, we call it abrekosue. Abrekosue is fresh corn that is boiled. And then we have the grade one. So
with all these food, which one was Osajifo's favorite?
Oh, we had a food called abodaso. Abodaso, it was even named after him. Initially, it was called Nkrumah, but because he became the president, we changed the Nkrumah to abodaso, the one that you use the chewing stick to set and then eat. Anywhere you are, you can eat it.
The celebrations also welcomed the Minister of Tourism, Arts and Culture, Jifa Ablagomashi, who underscores the importance of preserving heritage while celebrating Ghana's first president.
Sites like the birthplace of Dr. Nkrumah in Nkrofo must not fade into history, but must be preserved, nurtured and celebrated as living monuments that continue to inspire, educate and unite us throughout the year. I'm happy to see the indigenous of Nzimaland in high and low places all come together to claim the rightful place in the story of Ghana and our Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah.
Nkrumah Fest 2025 is not just a celebration, it is a reminder of the spirit of Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Reporting for Joy News, I am Inathalia Kwansa Nkrofo.
Your beloved country is free forever.
In a bold step toward fostering inclusivity and economic independence, the Offensive North District Assembly has equipped 75 persons with disabilities with startup equipment and cash grants. The initiative, powered by the District Assembly's Common Fund, provided tailored items from deep freezers and sewing machines to laptops based on individuals' business plans, sparking hope and promising a new chapter of self-reliance for beneficiaries. And Nasabit has more.
In a powerful stride towards inclusivity and economic empowerment, the Ofinso North District Assembly has turned hope into tangible reality for 75 persons with disabilities. This initiative, funded by the government's dedicated Common Fund, is not just about donation, but about building sustainable futures. What happened here is more than just a ceremony. It is a launchpad for dreams. The Assembly dispersed equipments and cash grants totaling thousands of Ghana cedis, all carefully selected to match the individual business plans of the beneficiaries. Caesar Ofusua-Champon is the district chief executive.
Today, we presented financial support and essential items to 75 persons with disability. Among them, 80% of them are new beneficiaries. And the breakdown of the support is as follows. 50% was given as economic empowerment, and then we have 15% for health and health-related issues, and we have 10% for those people who give them the care.
And for those who weren't selected this time, the DC had this message of assurance, noting that they will be prioritized in subsequent distributions.
I want to tell those that did not get the support today is that we still have a long way to go. Today is for others. Tomorrow will be for them. So all that I will tell those that did not receive today is that they should keep calm. They should have trust in the government.
The gratitude from the community was palpable, but it came with a strong charge of responsibility. Kofi Ajay is the chairman of the Ghana Society of the Physically Disabled here in Ofinso North. He admonished every beneficiary to put these items into proper use to help them build a sustainable livelihood for their families.
Me as a chairman, ma be monitor. I say, a no more demand. Would the year do my said there? A kuno ashes in emeranity. With the environment secoton, the maybe a gem would be more beer, no coton, and not the misromo, then will be uncoton.
And to ensure this investment yields results, the Social Welfare Office has instituted a robust monitoring plan. Gideon Osei Puku is the district social welfare officer.
We will be encouraged when they use it and we go for monitoring and realize that all they have received is put to judicial use. We at our assembly here, we will be okay and we will feel proud of ourselves that the funds we gave them was not used for fun, only they made good use of it.
So from deep freezers to laptops and cash grants, this initiative in Ofinso North is a testament to what can be achieved when support is tailored, practical and accountable. It is a story not just of aid, but of investment in human potential, paving the way for a more inclusive and prosperous community. Anna Sabit, Joy News, Akumadan.
Now, away from the Lambusi Member of Parliament, Professor Titus Kofi Biyo has underscored the important role of education in the lives of people. Speaking at Lambusi, where he handed over a renovated library facility for the district and also disbursing funds for 42 tertiary education students to aid their studies, noted that education is a leveler that can transform the lives of the people and take them out of poverty. He therefore urged the people to take advantage of education. JoyNews Upper West correspondent Rafiq Salam has more.
The Lambusi district, since its creation in 2008, only had a library that existed in name. It could only boast of the physical structure, no single book or computer, and was only used for meetings by the district assembly and community members. Over the years, the state of the structure worsened, with roofs leaking, wall cracked, ground floor cement partially eroded, and washrooms in deplorable state. Concerned about the deplorable state of the library, Member of Parliament for Lambusi, Professor Titus Kofibeyu, came to the aid of the people with support from IPMC and other benefactors and renovated it to fit the purpose for which it was constructed for.
We have been able to renovate it, fitted all the loose ceilings, reinforced the security fencing around the place, improve upon ventilation. We have worked on the washrooms, and now it's a decent place where people can sit and study and read. And we have stocked it up with books and with laptops, equipped with a television set and internet services to be able to help the people here match up with students anywhere in the world. At this juncture, I want to thank all the people who have helped us. I want to thank IPMC for the generous donation of the laptops and accessories and a television set to set up the place. I want to thank the Honorable Minister for Education, Honorable Haruna Idrisu. I want to thank all other benefactors that I cannot mention who have supported in one way or the other.
Professor Beyu asserted that the only way to transform the lives of the people and moving them out of the poverty quagmire is through education, urging the people to embrace it.
Education, in my opinion, is the only panacea we have in this part of the region. The lands are no more yielding the dividends. In a district that is so impoverished like ours, there are no factories, there are no other opportunities for the young people. The only thing that can be a leveler for all of us is education.
The opportunity to disburse funds for 42 tertiary students under the Beyu Education Scholarship Trust, BEST, launched last year. He recalled with nostalgia the struggles he went through in life that motivated him to set up the scholarship scheme.
Having to lose my mother at a very tender age of about 3 to 4 years, lose my father when I was writing my WASI. In fact, the day my father was being buried, I was writing my chemistry paper, and I was never able to even attend the funeral. And the struggles I went through, struggling to look for scholarships, I made it upon myself that if I ever have the opportunity to be in a position of influence, I'll make sure that I make things easier for other people from this land. We are here to go a notch higher. The last time we gave 13 students. Today we are giving 42 students in tertiary schools. A total of 96,000 Ghana cedis, 500 to these students to help with their education.
Reporting for JoyNews, Rafik Salam, Lambusi.
In another development, the Fix the Country movement is stepping up pressure on government to act decisively against illegal mining. The group is holding today a revolution meeting at the Revolution Square ahead of a major protest march. Organizers say the events are a civic call to protect Ghana's lands and rivers from the devastation of Galamsey. Let's cross over now to our reporter on the ground, Kweku Asante, to bring us up to date, up to speed basically on what is happening. Kweku, what is happening now on the ground and what is the mood basically? Because Auntie, the conveners there yet, and what is the mood at the moment?
The protest is yet to start. In fact, if you come to the Revolution Square, which is just behind me, no protesters are here at the moment. In fact, about a minute or two ago, I did speak to one other person who came in here with a branded T-shirt about the protest, talking about how they are getting ready, they are getting people to mobilize and come here. If you look at the program that they published themselves, the program itself was supposed to start with a picket at 2 p.m. right here at the Revolution Square opposite the Jubilee House, and then it would dovetail into a matter having to do with a vigil this very evening at this ground. But at the moment, that hasn't happened. We understand they are still trying to mobilize and get as many people as possible to come here for the protest to happen. But the situational report is that just about 20 minutes past 1 p.m. now, there are no persons here who are mobilizing to picket, as we have come to know, for the vigil that we expect to happen to this evening. It's a 2-day program. What is going to start with a picket this afternoon. The picket will lead into a vigil in the evening, and then a crowd will disperse. And then tomorrow there will be a protest march from Shiashi right back to Revolution Square, where we expect that petition may be presented and other conversations may be had with the authorities regarding the fight against Galamsey. The Fix the Country and Democracy Hub say that they have real concerns about how government is managing the issues leading to Galamsey, and that is why they are protesting and asking government to double the efforts and to do more in the fight against Galamsey. They haven't seen the seriousness with government's fight against illegal mining since the John Dramani Mahama government assumed office in January of this year. It's been 9 months. They say they want to see something more, and that is why they are protesting to ask government to double up the effort to weed out Galamsey.
All right, Koko, have you spoken to anyone on the ground at the moment? And also, what should we be expecting before the close of day?
So if you come here, I met some police officers here who are usually on duty right opposite the Jubilee House, and they tell me that they are not even aware that there is any such protest happening. In fact, there was even a brief altercation or some exchange of words between myself and one police officer who stopped me from going about my duties. He sought to explain that they have not been informed that there is any protest happening here today, and that as far as it's concerned, this is a security zone that I'm not allowed to get in there because I wanted to access the Revolution Square area and then do some recordings. He told me that they have not been informed that there's any protest happening. It is the same sense that we get, that a couple of police officers who are here on duty today have no idea that a protest is going to happen. Usually when protests are going to happen right here at the seat of government, opposite Jubilee House, you'd have seen some real heavy security police presence here. That is not the case. It is just a very sizable, very minute police presence here, about 3 police officers who are always here right opposite the Jubilee House, who are looking at the traffic situation and also on guard duties. And so they are the only ones here. We don't see the very heavy police presence that we usually see when there are such protests at the Jubilee House. Of course, some of these things are not stuff we've seen in recent times. We haven't seen a picket or a vigil at the Revolution Square in years. In fact, in perhaps two decades, there's been no set picket. In fact, in the last 8 years, protesters were not allowed to even come to the Jubilee House. But in the last few months, a couple of protesters have actually even made their way to Jubilee House, including the minority, who presented a petition in Jubilee House and was received by the Chief of Staff himself. And so this is a new development. And usually, when protests are happening, the police will also put out a statement talking about roadblocks and arrangement for security. The police have not done so, although Democracy Hub and Fix the Country have all put out statements informing the public that they have actually communicated with the Ghana Police Service. They have informed them, as per the Public Order Act, that they are going to hold the protest here. We are yet to get a statement from the police in terms of what exactly the arrangement is going to be for this protest. But as far as Fix the Country is concerned, they say they are going ahead of this. We have already seen posts from Oliver Barker-Vormawor, one of the leading figures of Democracy Hub and Fix the Country, who is currently out of the country, who says he's flying back into the country and expects to be here by 5 p.m. and he will join his colleagues who will be here at the Revolution Square to picket and also to hold a candlelight vigil this very evening.
Thank you, Kweku Asante, for bringing us that update, and make sure you stay tuned to here on the JoyNews channel as we follow through this particular development right in front of the Jubilee House. Now, away from that, peaceful assembly is a constitutional right and should be protected. Ghana's laws and human rights organizations like Amnesty International have on several occasions called on police and courts to respect that right and only limit it where strictly necessary, proportionate and lawful. But to what extent have these calls been heeded? Who is enforcing the protection of the protester and protests? Watch excerpt of a latest Hotline documentary airing on Monday, September 22nd, 2025.
Ghana police is breaking the law and denying us our right of simple movement.
If you look at our history, both what survives of the long pre-colonial period, even before the establishment of formal colonial rule, women were always there in the positive action campaign. Some women went to prison, and yet the way we teach our history, we don't bring these things out at all.
I participated in a protest by women seeking protection during a period when there was a serial killer.
I was frustrated because the lights were constantly off all the time. I remember one evening I went on Twitter and I tweeted, "Doomsday must stop."
They ripped my dresser pass and I'm on TV in my bra.
The position of the protester might one day become the norm.
So make a date with us on our latest Hotline documentary as we stress this call and hear from key social activists on what we call Protect the Protest. This piece was originally produced by Amnesty International, Ghana. Now, away from that, the country director of Action Aid Ghana, John Inko, is advocating for a deeper involvement of the youth in climate change discussions. Speaking at the secondary school debate on youth leadership in climate change education in Sunyani, Mr. Inko said such a move would well position the youth to speak up against policies and activities that impact the environment, such as the Galamsey menace. Precious Semavo has more.
The youth will live with the consequences of environmental destruction and the impact of climate change. However, they are less involved in discussions about creating a safer environment. As part of the Global Week of Climate Action, Action Aid in partnership with the University of Energy and Natural Resources, UNE, held an inter-school debate in Sunyani on youth leadership in climate change education. Dr. Yabuachi Ajiman, the head of the Center for Climate Change and Gender Studies at UNE, said they recognize the youth's abilities in safeguarding the environment.
When you talk about climate change discourse, most of the times the youth do not have a space within that. So this is just one of the strategies to showcase the youth's ability to be part of the discourse and the discussion. And I think the focus on the youth is because the implication on them is monstrous.
Odumasiman Secondary School and St. James Seminary and SHS debated for and against the topic, prioritizing youth leadership in climate change education, the key to climate resilience, respectively.
We think the youth should also be empowered and also trained, although others will argue that the youth are inexperienced. But when the youth are given leadership roles, they take responsibilities and ownership and act on their own with more energy.
It is not just about the youth being the ones that are supposed to be put in charge, but it is supposed to be a collective effort. Most importantly with the old, because most of the times the old people are the ones with expertise and experience.
Country Director of Action Aid Ghana, John Inko, said the youth can only support climate change actions if their abilities are enhanced, hence the need to involve them in the discussions.
Engaging the youth a lot more, working with like-minded civil society organizations and state actors will promote not only climate awareness, but it will promote youth actions geared towards afforestation, speaking up against hazardous actions such as Galamsey that is affecting Ghana, and mobilizing the youth as a strong force to engage in public policy and engage their parliamentarians to ensure that policies are well defined to help in addressing the rising climate crisis that Ghana and for that matter many countries are involved in.
Odumasiman Secondary School was adjudged the winner. Precious Semevo, JoyNews, Sunyani.
Still in education, the Deputy Minister of Education, Dr. Clement Abbas-Apak, has stressed the government's commitment to developing technical and vocational education and training TVET. According to him, investing in TVET would help unlock potential, foster innovations, and build a resilient and competitive workforce for the country. Dr. Apak was speaking at the relaunch of the Amfueta Technical Institute in the Whole West District.
The Amfueta Technical Institute was initially established as the Amfueta Vocational Training School. Through the efforts of the Whole West Member of Parliament, Emmanuel Bedra, and support from the Ghana Education Trust Fund, the school received critical infrastructural upgrades across all departments. The projects included an administration block, a one-story classroom block, boys and girls dormitories, staff bungalows, workshops, among others. This development led to the official relaunch of the institute and its absorption into the public education system.
In fact, the only problem that we have initially was that this school has not been absorbed into the government school system. Fortunately, the current government has taken over, and this school will be taking the first batch of students to be in school from next month. I'm told that 200 students have been approved to start school. Everything is set. We have anything that you can think of as a school to start a school is ready and is here. And so Amfueta Technical School has come. Our focus at Get Fund is basically to make sure that we complete all uncompleted projects before we start any new development.
The paramount chief of Amfueta, Togbe Kosidra VII, expressed his appreciation to the government for absorbing the institute.
I would like to make a fervent appeal to the government through our deputy education minister to put a high premium on this technical school to enable it to attain its full potential. This is a school we anticipate will metamorphose into a technical university in not too long a distant future.
The Deputy Education Minister, Dr. Clement Abbas-Apak, accepted the request, stressing the government's zeal to improve and expand TVET in the country.
Our commitment to TVET is further exemplified by the government's imminent presentation of a comprehensive national technical and vocational education training policy to the Cabinet of His Excellency for approval.
The Amfueta Technical Institute has been accredited to offer electrical engineering technology, catering, agricultural engineering, and robotic technology. Fred Kwame Asari, JoyNews, Amfueta.
Now, away from Amfueta, many young girls are breaking barriers and making remarkable strides in STEM as STEM education continues to take root within Ghana's curriculum. Speaking at the Cohort 2 bootcamp of the Heroes in STEM initiative spearheaded by the Molex Foundation Africa, the foundation's executive president, Ivy Beauty Amate, revealed that plans are underway to establish STEM clubs in schools. These clubs will equip teachers to mentor girls pursuing STEM careers, a strategic move that advances the Sustainable Development Goals on equality education, gender equality, and innovation.
I started loving science the day my daddy showed us how plants drink water. It felt like magic. I started asking questions about how things work, like why it rains and how houses stay strong. That is why I want to be a medical doctor and save people's lives from dangerous sickness.
For years, STEM had been regarded as a masculine field, discouraging girls from exploring the diverse potentials and opportunities in the STEM fields. Today, Molex Foundation Africa, through its Heroes in STEM initiative, is making significant efforts in empowering young African girls to beat barriers and accomplish excellence in STEM fields. The second cohort of the Heroes in STEM initiative bootcamp came off at the University of Cape Coast and saw about 60 girls across Ghana participating. Ivy Beauty Amate is the executive president for Molex Foundation Africa.
We are looking at continuing to establish the STEM clubs in schools and to train the teachers, specifically the maths and science teachers to also continue to train these girls as they finish the campaign. And all these things align with the Sustainable Development Goal for quality education, 5 gender equality, and then 9 innovation, infrastructure, and industry. And we are aiming at bringing up girls who have vision, girls who will take up responsibilities, girls who will bridge the gender gap, and girls who are ready to overcome social and cultural barriers.
The founder of the foundation, Dr. Patrick Essien, expressed pride at the impact of the initiative in the lives of young African girls.
The fulfillment also came this year when girls from all over the country came together, okay, for the boot camp, and they are so poised to learn. They are so poised to to break the barriers, okay, the gender barriers in STEM, okay, to become the lead in the STEM. In Molex Foundation, we don't believe in every successful man there's a woman, but we have 10 things around that. In every success or every great achievement, there's a woman leading, and that is what we are gearing towards, and that is what we are seriously working on. So if you look at the project, the 5 projects the girls are doing this year is exceptional. The smart house, the smart traffic light, the air quality sensor, and then the other project that they are doing is exceptional. And that is my happiness. That is a dream come true. That shows that no, what we planned is being real.
With STEM fields making transformative strides in the world, the CEO of Berlin Group of Companies, Guido Kohlmann, is asking government to prioritize STEM programs in order to align with the new world order.
I will urge the government to focus on STEM programs. And it has because we are in a new world order. So we should all move in the same direction as other developed countries are doing. We can do it. Now we've started with young girls. Maybe the next years we'll also move on to the heroes in STEM, and we'll be going. So seriously, we need support, and we need more support.
The theme for the Sheroes in STEM Cohort 2 Boot Camp was breaking barriers to access higher education. From Cape Coast, Abigail Lissel Nkrumah reports for Joy News.
Some 2,000 young people from across the globe have converged on Russia's Novgorod region for Russia's World Youth Festival. The event officially commenced this week in the regional capital. These young leaders who represent 120 nations include a significant contingent from across the African continent. My colleague Albert Kuzo is covering the festival and has filed this report.
The festival at the Nizhny Novgorod Fair Center showcases a wide range of fields from arts and technology to music, culture, business and sports. Upon their arrival on Wednesday, participants took a tour of the city to familiarize themselves with the various venues designated for the event's activities. On Thursday, attendees were treated to a series of events, including basketball, games, dancing, photography, and speeches from the festival organizers and government officials of the Novgorod region. Some African delegates at the event shared their expectations with JoyNews.
I am there in the festival because for me it's the opportunity to have a contact with another country, another nationality, and I would like to work with the national people.
I have a lot of expectations of this World Youth Festival Assembly, especially in networking, but most importantly in how we can bring a new view to this building of the multipolar world, and very excited to be here not only with Russia but with a lot of other countries that want some change and want it soon.
My expectations are I want to connect with foreign participants in order to help me make transformation in my career, and also as a future leader I'm trying to learn a lot here in Russia so that in the near future they can make memories back home.
This year's gathering is a follow-up to the last year's festival. It is now set to be held every 5 years with the aim of strengthening friendly ties between Russia's regions and foreign states. For JoyNews, Albert Kuzo, Russia, Nizhny.